What if I told you that one of the most terrifying sights of World War II was what it seemed? Imagine this. You're a soldier, and through the smoke and chaos of battle, you see it. A Hermann tank, massive and menacing, charging towards you. But it's not camouflaged green or desert tan. It's a deep blood red. For decades, this image has fueled myths. Was it a psychological weapon? A color meant to strike fear into the hearts of Allied troops? Were these elite panzer divisions marked by some symbolic, terrifying hue? The truth is far more practical, and in many ways, much more fascinating. That red color you've seen in historical photos and films wasn't paint, at least not in the way you think. It was a warning, but not for the enemy. It was a warning about the harsh realities of war, industrial collapse, and desperation. Let's start from the beginning. In the heart of Germany's war machine, every single tank that rolled off the assembly line, whether it was a Panther, a Tiger, or a Sturmgeschütz, started its life looking the same. Red. This wasn't a choice for aesthetics or intimidation. It was a crucial step in the manufacturing process. The color was a primer, a special anti-corrosive base coat. You see, a tank is essentially a massive block of steel. And what does steel do when exposed to the elements? It rusts. Fast. Especially on the brutal front lines of Europe, with its rain, snow, mud, and humidity. A rusty tank is a weak tank. Corrosion can compromise the armor, seize up moving parts, and make maintenance a nightmare. The German High Command knew this, and they were obsessed with efficiency and longevity. So, they mandated that every armored vehicle be coated in a protective layer before it ever saw a battlefield. This protective layer was a specific formula known as Rotbraun, which translates to red-brown, or more technically, red oxide primer. This wasn't just any old paint, it was a chemical marvel of its time. The red oxide pigment, derived from iron oxide, bonded exceptionally well to the steel surface, creating a durable shield against moisture and oxygen. It was tough, reliable, and relatively cheap to produce. Once a tank's hull and turret were assembled, they would be sprayed down with this distinctive red-brown primer. It covered every plate, every weld, every single inch of exposed steel. This was the tank in its most raw, fundamental state. Only after this crucial step would the vehicle move on to the next stage, receiving its camouflage, depending on the year, the front, and the regulations in place. Workers would then apply patterns of dark yellow, olive green, and chocolate brown over the red primer. The final product was a camouflaged predator, ready for war. The red was never meant to be seen. So if every tank was supposed to be camouflaged, why do we have so many accounts and photographs of red tanks? This is where the story shifts from industrial precision to wartime chaos. By 1944 and into 1945, Germany was losing the war, and its industrial base was crumbling under the weight of relentless Allied bombing campaigns. Factories were being flattened, supply lines were cut, railways were destroyed. The finely tuned machine of German war production began to sputter and break down. Suddenly, things we take for granted, like a steady supply of paint, became a luxury. Shipments of the Dunkelgelb, Olivgrün, and Rotbraun camouflage paints became unreliable, delayed, or were destroyed outright. At the same time, the pressure from the front lines was immense. The Soviet army was advancing relentlessly from the east, and the Allies were pushing in from the west. Every tank, every gun, was needed at the front immediately. There was no time to wait. Factory commanders were faced with a grim choice. Hold back a brand new, fully functional Tiger or Panther, because it was missing a coat of camouflage paint, or send it straight into battle wearing only its red oxide primer. The answer was obvious. A tank in red primer could still fight. A tank waiting for paint was useless. And so, in the final, desperate year of the war, an increasing number of German tanks rolled directly from the factory floor to the freight trains, and then straight to the front, still gleaming in their raw, industrial red. Imagine the sight for a moment, not a symbol of strength, but a sign of pure desperation. An unfinished weapon rushed into combat. It's a chilling testament to the state of the German war effort. There was no grand strategy behind it. It wasn't a secret psychological operation. It was the simple, brutal calculus of a collapsing nation. Function over form. Get the guns to the front, no matter what they look like. This also explains the wild variations in camouflage you see on late-war German armor. Sometimes, a factory would run out of one color, but not another. So you might see a tank with its red primer base and just a few hastily sprayed stripes of green or brown. In other cases, tanks were delivered to the front in their primer, and it was left to the crews themselves to apply camouflage in the field. These tank crews became masters of improvisation. They used whatever they could find. They would mix paint with gasoline to stretch their supplies. They would slather their vehicles in mud and foliage. They'd use charcoal from burnt wood to create dark patterns. This led to some of the most unique and non-standard camouflage schemes of the entire war. Each tank became a reflection of its crew's resourcefulness and the desperate conditions they faced. You can look at two late war tanks from the same unit, and they might look completely different. One might have a crude, hand-brushed pattern, while another might still show large patches of the red primer underneath a layer of dirt and grime. The red became an unintentional canvas for battlefield art born of necessity. But the story of the red primer doesn't end on the battlefield. It has an incredible legacy that continues to this day. That red oxide formula was so effective at bonding to and protecting the steel that it often outlasted everything else. When a tank was knocked out, burned, or abandoned, the camouflage paint would often flake, burn off, or peel away over time. But the primer, chemically bonded to the metal, held on. Decades later, when battlefield archaeologists and wreck hunters uncover the remains of these steel beasts from the swamps of Eastern Europe or the fields of France, the first color they often see is the red primer. It's like an archaeological layer, the foundational color that tells the tank's story from its birth at the factory. It's a ghostly reminder of the vehicle's origins, preserved under layers of rust and earth. So, the next time you see a model, a movie, or a photograph featuring a red German tank, you'll know the real story. It wasn't about projecting an image of terror. It was about something far more real. Protecting steel from rust. The red wasn't a symbol of dominance. It became a symbol of desperation. A sign that the gears of the German war machine were grinding to a halt. It's a story of industrial logic colliding with the chaos of war, creating an accidental icon. The terrifying red tank wasn't born from a desire to intimidate the enemy, but from the brutal necessity of getting a weapon to the front lines, even if it wasn't finished. A color that became famous not by design, but by circumstance. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this dive into history, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories hidden in plain sight.